Hello and welcome to another edition of CityTalk. My name is Tim Shaw, the Government Affairs Director here at the Pacific West Association of Realtors. I'm pleased to have with me today the Mayor of Garden Grove, Mayor Steve Jones. Steve, thank you for being with us and welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Now, I should mention Steve is the Mayor of Garden Grove, but also a member of the Pacific West Association of Realtors. How long have you been a member of ours?
Don't know exactly, but it's been a very long time. I was a real estate agent going back to the early 90s after the whole late 80s, early 90s real estate debacle. So coming out of that, I've been a realtor and I've been a broker for probably 10 years plus.
Well, great. So we were thrilled to see you elected recently as the Mayor of Garden Grove, and happy to help you with that. So tell us a little bit about your city. I know a lot of cities around here have kind of gone through political reformation, and in Garden Grove this last election you added a couple council members and went to districts, and so what happened with that exactly?
Yeah, so the most exciting thing in that is that in this election cycle we went from 5 council members to 7, and we went to a by-district election system. So we now have 6 city council districts, and the mayor is still elected at large. So I was just voted in as a mayor at large. I'm really excited about just the prospects of what we have in place. I have just an awesome council that I get to work with. Everybody seems to be communicating really well right out of the gate and getting along. So I can totally envision coming together with shared vision for how to look forward in the city and to implement a lot of the things that we already have in process and to come up with a lot of new things together. So I think it's exciting times for Garden Grove. Some
of the unique things about Garden Grove, there's the new Great Wolf Lodge. We were able to hang out. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Certainly, Great Wolf Lodge has put Garden Grove on the map. We're excited about that. They just opened in February of 2016. They've been outperforming their initial projections, so things look great. That project was close to 10 years in the pipeline before it actually came about. So that was a deal that happened before the abolishment of redevelopment. It survived the economic downturn. It survived the abolishment of redevelopment, and we still brought it forward. So with a lot of tenacity in a public-private partnership on that one, that actually happened, and they're even contemplating an expansion at this point.
Already?
So, yep.
Wow. Well, so if they could survive all that, I guess they
right.
were meant to be. So that's
right.
that's fabulous.
And that was a $285 million project. So it's pretty staggering when you think about just sort of what we pulled off on that one. It's going to generate anywhere from $4 to $6 million per year, all year, every year for the city of Garden Grove going forward. For perspective, our top line general fund budget is about $100 million a year. So that one project alone represents 4% of our top line revenue in the city, and promises to kind of do more in the future. So.
And that's just the direct revenue to the city. Do you have any idea how many jobs are had there?
Yeah, in fact, there were, I think the number was about 732 new jobs created.
Wow.
A lot of those were, they gave preferential treatment to Garden Grove residents, so a lot of those are Garden Grove jobs. It's neat for me to see, because every time I walk in there, I see a lot of people that spot me and that I recognize. So I can tell there's a lot of Garden Grove presence in the Great Wolf Lodge. But they had over 13,000 applications for 700 jobs, and they filled them very fast.
Wow, well that's exciting. So,
yeah.
Are there other community events you have coming up in Garden Grove you'd like to tell people about?
Yeah, absolutely. So. One of my core things has been this Reimagine Garden Grove campaign. So within the last 5-6 years, we've been actively focused on a rebranding exercise. So how do we take what's good about Garden Grove, preserve that, and how do we move forward? Like what does the future of Garden Grove look like if you look 10 or 15 years out? So that's been the Reimagine campaign. And as part of that, we started doing open streets events. We hired Aaron Paley, who was the founder and executive director of Ciclavia in Los Angeles, which is now the largest open streets event in the nation, modeled after Ciclovia in Bogota, Colombia 40 years ago. So we hired him and his planning firm, Cars, to come down and help us plan the first 2 open streets events, which were hugely successful. So we have the 3rd Open Streets event coming up on April 1st. So we're actually doing it for fun. We're doing it on April Fool's Day just to see what kind of fun marketing spin we can put on that. And So April 1st, 2017 will be our third annual Open Streets event. We're going to shut down a portion of the downtown from cars to just allow pedestrian and bicycle traffic. We're going to have a big festival, lots of food booths, a lot of fun stuff, zip lining, you name it. So it'll be a big fun family festival. And it's a way for us to get our diverse city to converge upon our downtown. So it'll be kind of a United Nations type of an event without being contrived about it. So it's fun to just stand on the corner of Main Street and Acacia and look around and see just the diverse crowd of families enjoying themselves in that mixed environment, which is what we're trying to recreate with our downtown.
Can you tell us about any new housing projects that might be in the queue here?
We always have lots, large and small. So we've always been very progressive, just because we're a mature, built-out city that was originally, I always say, maldeveloped in the post-World War II boom cycle, right? So we had just thousands of new homes that were cookie-cuttered out in the 50s, 60s, 70s. So we're very progressive when it comes to redevelopment and being encouraging of infill development to recycle any older or blighted properties. So we've got a number of infill developments. A few examples. The old St. Callistus church site. Since the Catholic Church bought Crystal Cathedral, now Christ Cathedral, a block away was St. Callistus, which is an 8 or 9 acre site and will be a new 90 home, single family detached home housing project. That one's going to be great. It's going to be top-notch quality new housing opportunities. But throughout town, Far West Industries is doing a project, a live-work project in our downtown area. We've got a number of other smaller developers, Brandywine Homes, others doing little infill developments all over town constantly. Olson, City Ventures, each of those very credible groups have projects in town, and we're always encouraging. So we've got a lot of new housing supply coming online and just a lot of existing inventory of housing that people are diving in, and it justifies investing the money to fix them up because you can increase value by more than you spend putting into them.
So this is going to go out to realtors. Is there any message you'd like to convey to realtors in particular?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say encourage realtors to take a fresh new look at Garden Grove. If they're not already in the loop on this, they should be. Things are changing rapidly in Garden Grove. Like I said, with Great Wolf Lodge, with our Open Streets events, with our Reimagine campaign, these things happening. I think Garden Grove, it's people from all over the county are noticing that Garden Grove is on the move and that we're doing something. So for your buyers who are looking at other cities, you should have them consider Garden Grove. I think there's just a very strong value proposition in Garden Grove that is yet untapped. So I mean, for the same dollar amount, you could get a single-family detached home with a white picket fence and a backyard versus a condo in some of our neighboring cities. So our schools are great. The future outlook is good for the city. So I just think there's a value proposition that realtors should consider pitching to their clients.
Oh, great. So is there any other message you'd like to share?
Yeah, one other big one that I'd like to plug is that, again, as part of our Reimagine effort, I'm excited to announce that we have a new Shaheen Sadeghi project coming into our downtown area. Shaheen is the most sought-after retail developer in all of Orange County. He was the developer of the Lab in Costa Mesa, the Camp, and then also the Packing House District in Anaheim. He has just closed escrow on the land transactions just within the last couple weeks in Garden Grove. And he's going to be doing a project called Cottage Industries in our downtown area. He's going to take about a dozen old craftsman-style houses, so these cool old early 1900s houses with the front porches and the columns and that thing. He's going to repurpose them into wood-fired pizza kitchens, barber shops, wine and cheese shops, those sort of things. And he's going to make it cool like he does. So just my interactions with him, how giddy he is about how cool this is going to be, gets me excited. Because if he thinks it's cool, then it's probably going to be pretty cool. So that's actually happening. So he's closed on the land. Obviously, over the next year or so, they're going to be working on the properties and fixing them up and converting them. But it's fully approved. The transactions happen, and they're well underway. So look forward to Cottage Industries by Shaheen Sadeghi coming to Garden Grove in the next year or two.
That's right in the downtown, huh?
Right in our downtown area, yeah.
Oh, well, how exciting. Well, Mayor Steve Jones, we appreciate learning more about Garden Grove and hearing all the great things happening there. And appreciate you. Once again, I'm Tim Shaw, Government Affairs Director here at the Pacific West Association of Realtors. We will see you next time.